The snap of flint is a sound of failure. It is the sound of an empty belly in the hot, dry wind that will follow. Kel grips the splintered haft of his spear, the smooth wood vibrating with the useless impact. A few paces away, the source of his failure resumes its grazing. Unbothered. The bull Triceratops is a mountain of keratin and muscle, a walking fortress whose hide has just contemptuously shed their best-made point. The creature's immense, army frill is a shield no stone can pierce. Its 3 horns are promises of a swift, goring death for the sun-scorched clan. These beasts are the ultimate paradox. The only meaningful source of meat on this sun-blasted plain, and a force they cannot overcome. The herd, 50 strong, moves like a slow-flowing river of armored flesh, ripping up the coarse scrub with powerful, keratin no US beaks. They are life itself, and they are untouchable. Back in the shallow overhang of sandstone that serves as their camp, the silence is heavy. It is the silence of hunger. An old woman, Naya, patiently grinds dried roots into a coarse, unappetizing paste. Her knuckles are swollen, her movements slow, but her eyes are sharp as she watches the children. A small boy coughs, a dry, rattling sound that speaks of dust and weakness. This is the brutal reality of their prehistoric life. The survival skills that allow them to track, to endure the heat, to find water where there should be none, have reached their limit. Their entire osteodontokeratic technology, the collection of bone awls, antler picks, and stone scrapers that define their existence, is the toolkit of scavengers, not hunters of giants. They feast on the scraps left by the Allosaurus, a dangerous and unreliable form of sustenance. To challenge the true lords of this valley is to invite extinction. Kale returns, the broken spirit testament to their impotence. He does not speak, merely dropping the useless tool onto the pile of other failures. The clan looks at him, then away. There is no blame, only a shared, gnawing despair. This is the great filter of their hominid history. They are ancient humans, caught between a burgeoning intelligence and the crushing physical superiority of the world's true masters. The question hangs in the shimmering heat. Do they risk a raid on a smaller, faster dinosaur, a pack of reptiles perhaps, where the danger is sharp but swift? Or do they starve, watching the lumbering mountains of meat graze peacefully before them? The hard choice is not one of action, but of which death to choose. As the sun bleeds across the horizon, casting long, skeletal shadows from the rocks, the deep, guttural bellows of the Triceratops herd echo across the plain. It is the sound of a full life, a life they can only witness from the edge of oblivion. It is the sound of their own slow demise. That night, the sky breaks. It is not a storm of rain, which would be a blessing, but a storm of falling fire. Streaks of brilliant white light tear across the black canopy, silent at first, then followed by a series of deep, guttural booms that shake the very bedrock. The clan huddles deeper into their shelter, eyes wide with the primal terror that predates any dinosaur. This is a fear of the cosmos itself, an omen of finality. To them, the sky is a solid, predictable dome. For it to shed burning tears is a sign that the world is ending. The children do not cry. They are too frightened. They simply watch the horrifying light show, their small faces illuminated in flickering bursts of doom. The prehistory they know is one of earth and flesh. This is something alien, something divine and terrible. Morning comes, not with an apocalypse, but with an unnatural stillness. The air smells of scorched rock and something else, something sharp and metallic, driven by a desperate curiosity that outweighs their fear. A young woman named Alar leaves the overhang. She follows the path of the largest scar in the sky, her bare feet taking her to a place where the familiar reed dust has been blasted away, revealing a wound in the earth. At its center rests a rock. It is not of their world. It is a lump of pitted, fused blackness, strangely heavy and cold to the touch. Other clan members gather, tail among them, keeping a wary distance. It is a taboo object, a piece of the angry night sky. But Alora, whose younger brother's cough is growing worse, is beyond superstition. She is grounded by the reality of starvation. She sees only a new kind of stone. She picks up a quartzite hammerstone and, in a gesture of frustration, strikes the black rock. The sound is wrong. Not the dull crack of flint, but a sharp, ringing clang. A cascade of brilliant orange sparks, brighter and hotter than any they can make with pyrite, erupts from the impact. The clan gasps. More importantly, the hammerstone has a new, deep chip in it. The black rock is barely scratched. Here lies a new truth, a fundamental shift in their understanding of the world. This is a leap, a violent shift forward in human evolution. Kale steps forward, his eyes fixed on the point of impact. He sees not an omen, but an answer. This is the spark of a new fire, the dawn of new ancient tools. The painstaking study of how to shape this material becomes the clan's sole obsession, the seed from which a future archaeology might grow. Analyzing the birth of a technology, they learn that the starstone, the meteoric iron, does not flake cleanly like flint but must be abraded, ground down, and shaped by immense, collaborative effort. For days, the camp is filled with the rhythmic scrape of stone on star metal, the sound of relentless, desperate industry. Finally, they have it, a single, palm-sized point. It is ugly, asymmetrical, and cruelly sharp. Kale lashes it to the sturdiest spear shaft he can find. When he holds it aloft, it feels heavier than any weapon has a right to be. It feels like a promise of blood. The hunt begins not with a charge, but with a whisper. 3 hunters, led by Kale, move through the pre-dawn gloom, their bodies smeared with mud and dust to mask their scent. They carry the clan's entire arsenal of starstone weapons, 2 heavy spears and a crude deflate hand axe. Their target is an old bull Triceratops, scarred and solitary, driven from the herd and now grazing near a ravine. The plan is a desperate gamble, a new chapter in their survival skills born of innovation and necessity. This is not a simple ambush. It is a tactical problem, an equation of mass, speed, and terror that must be solved. The stakes are absolute. Failure means more than just death for the hunters. It means the end of the hope that now burns in the clan's hungry eyes. They use the terrain, a silent language of hand signals guiding them. 2 hunters, Hominid and Meteorite, take positions near the ravine's edge, while Kale circles around, the heavy starstone spear feeling like an anchor in his hand. The signal is the cry of a hope, a sound the bull ignores. At the call, Hominid and Meteorite break cover, shouting, waving their arms, making themselves seem larger. They are the bait. The bull raises its massive head, its small eyes fixing on the distraction. It gives a low, rumbling growl, a warning that shakes the ground. It does not want to fight, but it will not retreat. It lowers its head, presenting a wall of horn and bone. This is the moment, the hinge upon which their entire hominid history turns. The bull charges. The earth trembles. It is not a run. It is a localized earthquake, a force of nature focused on erasing the 2 small, screaming figures. But Hominid and Meteorite are swift. They are children of this harsh land. They leap into the ravine moments before the bull thunders past, its horns gouging deep furrows where they just stood. The maneuver exposes the beast's flank to Kale. He breaks from his cover, his legs pumping, his every sinew straining. For one terrifying second, man and monster are side by side. Kale thrusts the starstone spear with the combined force of his own desperation and the weight of his starving clan. There is no snap of breaking flint. Instead, a hideous, grinding crunch. The iron point, born of a dying star, punches through scales, hide, and muscle, sinking deep into the creature's side, striking the gassed warrior. The bull bellows, a sound of shock and unimaginable pain, and stumbles. The hunt becomes a brutal, close quarters dinosaur battle. Kale rips the spear free as the wounded giant turns, its massive keratin US beak snapping the air. But the damage is done. The hunters harry it, a ghost-like dance of feints and retreats, until the great beast, bleeding and exhausted, finally sinks to its knees. Kale approaches the dying titan, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. He delivers the final blow, not with triumph, but with a grim, solemn finality. A new world is dawning, and its light is the color of blood. They stand in the shadow of their kill, small and fragile against the mountain of flesh. This is more than a feast. It is a revelation. The unbereachable wall has been broken. The fear that has governed their every waking moment has not vanished. But it has a new companion. The cold, hard knowledge of their own power. This single act of coordinated intelligence, courage, and technological innovation is a turning point in the epic of human evolution. The story of this hunt, passed down through gestures and guttural words around a fire fueled by the Titan's rendered fat, will become the foundation of a new culture. It is the moment a species of clever Australopithecus or early Homo habilis graduates from prey to predator. The moment what if dinosaurs were still alive ceases to be a question of survival and becomes a question of dominance. This hard-won equilibrium is the blueprint for our own audacious ascent. The Star Stone was a gift from the heavens, but the courage to wield it was forged entirely on this ancient earth. When we, their distant descendant, look to the stars, do we search for our future, or are we remembering the first time they handed us our survival? Because the history of humanity was not written in stone, but hammered from it, under the gaze of monsters. But the sky is not the only place that holds unbreakable things.